Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me with Stories with Anita this evening. I told you guys you're never going to know what I'm going to have up here. And so tonight, I'm hoping I've got some Western fans out here. 40 facts about the life and legend of Wyatt Earp. Over the course of a long and often turbulent life, Wyatt Earp became a living legend. He was at one time or another a saloon keeper, a brothel owner, a lawman in a different jurisdictions, a gambler, a miner of gold and silver, and a professional referee for boxing matches. Late in life, he was a consultant of Western films in Hollywood. His detractors claimed that his reputation was inflated and that he was both crooked retiree and unreliable source of stories he exploits. His many admirers disagreed and support him as one of the toughest lawmen of the American West. Here are 40 facts about the American legend Wyatt Earp. Once again, thank you all for joining me on Stories with Anita. And number one, he spent most of his early boyhood in Pella, Illinois. Wyatt Earp was too young to enlist in the American Civil War broke out, though he made several attempts to run away from home and lie about his age to recruiters, each thwarted by his father. Now, his father was a veteran of the Mexican War and responsible for raising and training companies of troops for the Union War effort in the spring of 1864. Nicholas Earp, Wyatt's father, organized a trade of wagons to move to San Bernardino in far-off California. Wyatt arrived there in mid-December when he sought work using the experience he gained driving wagons on a cross-country trip before the Civil War was over. He was employed as a teamster in California. He supported the building of the Transcontinental Railroad by freighting supplies. And in 1868, Earp was known as an experienced firefighter and began firefighting supplies as he railhead the Union Pacific Railroad as it was crept westward. While at the railroad, he learned to both gamble at cards and to referee boxing matches, developing a reputation as a flair for a tough official. In Cheyenne, Wyoming, on the 4th of July of 1869, he officiated a flight which featured Professor Mike Johnson, who later taught future American President Theodore Roosevelt how to defend himself in a athletic club. And before the estimated 3,000 spectators, a significant number of fans for a bare-knuckle boxing event. 3. His first experience as a lawman was in Lamar, Missouri. The Earp family removed to Missouri in 1869, and Wyatt took over the job as a town constable for his father. Now, he married his first wife there in 1870, but her sudden death from typhoid fever affected Wyatt badly, and his fortunes went into decline. He was charged with embezzling funds collected by Lamar's schools, which it was his job to collect. He was also sued by the citizens of the town of the following false amounts of money collected, deflating them and keeping the difference, which caused citizens to lose property. He was charged with running a brothel in Peoria, and in 1872, Earp's downward spiral continued when he was arrested along with his brother Morgan and several women under the charge of keeping a brothel. They were fined and released. That fall, he was arrested yet again for operating another brothel aboard a steamship he owned. Now, a woman arrested with him by the name of Sally Haskell claimed to be his wife. Earp later claimed to spend the years of 1872 to 1874 on buffalo hunt, though there was no evidence of him actually doing so. With Peoria no longer hospitable to him and Sally, he called himself Sarah Earp, and traveled to Wichita, where his brother James Earp operated yet another brothel, arriving in the booming Castle Town in 1874. He was also a bouncer and a police officer in Wichita. Now, you guys, this man got around. He really did. He did a lot of things. And he cattle drives to Wichita Railroad, through Texas steers to the railroad, and cowboys on the saloons and brothels of the town. Earp worked as a bouncer in his brother's brothel, and later joined the town's martial officer of a deputy, then only recorded of his firing his gun during that time in Wichita came when it fell from his holster and accidentally discharged upon and hitting the floor. It is a lot of, it's 40 facts. I won't be going through all of them, but I'm giving you a good amount of them. He spent a winter in the mining camp of Deadwood in Dakota Territory. He was deputy marshal in Dodge City. Earp returned to Dodge City following his winter in the Black Hills, joining the town's marshal office as deputy in 1877. And in the fall of that year, he was commissioned as the United States Deputy Marshal and dispatched in pursuit of a bank robber who had fled to Texas. But in early 1878, he arrived at the Beehive Saloon in Clear Fork, Texas, where he met for the first time with Doc Holliday. And everybody seen the movies and read the books knows about Doc Holliday. He learned from the dentist and a gambler that the subject of the pursuit had returned to Kansas, and Earp returned to Dodge City. By May of 1878, Earp was back in Dodge, serving as the town marshal and supplementing his income by gambling in the saloons. 8. Doc Holliday saved Wyatt's life in Dodge City. In the summer of 1878, Doc Holliday and Big Nose Kate said to his wife, arrived in Dodge City, intent on delivering the cowboys who had recently arrived at the end of cattle drive of their hard-earned wages. Kate was a prostitute and Holliday a gambler. The summer of the group of the drunken cowboys entered the Long Branch Saloon, where Holliday was gambling after shooting up the street outside, when Earp, acting as town marshal, entered the saloon to arrest the mainstreams. He found several guns already drawn and pointing at him. Before Earp could react, Holliday placed his own revolver in the head of one of the cowboys, inducing the others to lower their guns. Earp later credited Holliday with saving his life. I know they became undeniable friends because you could see that all in the show. Earp was well known for Bat Masterson during his tenure in Dodge City. And it just goes on. Earp and Masterson were involved in a shooting of a drunken cowboy. Man, they got into all kinds of stuff. Just look at some of this stuff. Dodge City became too civilized for Wyatt's battle in 1879. Wyatt arrived in Dodge City. The town was in first throes of growth bloom, fueled by cattle which arrived to make advantage of the railheads, which shipped the beef on the hoof to the stockyards in Chicago. After weeks on the trail, The cowboys blew off steam drinking, gambling, and sometimes vandalizing the town. But in 1879, the town had established ordinances restricting the carry of firearms, and the trapping of civilizations had taken hold. Wyatt's brother was a U.S. Marshal in the Arizona Territory. And it looks like all the Earp brothers, a lot of them were into law. Virgil Earp was the town constable of Prescott, Arizona in the summer of 1879, and his proximity made him aware of the mining operations in Tombstone. Wyatt decided to join him there, along with his common-law wife Mattie, his brother James and his wife, and Doc Holliday, who was accompanied by Big Nose Kate. Before the party arrived in Prescott, Virgil was appointed as Deputy U.S. Marshal for the Tombstone District. Aware that his brothers were on the way, Virgil waited until they arrived before heading to Tombstone. His brother and their wives accompanied him. Doc Holliday remained in Prescott to see what he could accomplish as the gambling tables there. Tombstone was a bloom town when Earp arrives there in December. Doubled during the last 9 months in 1879, and it was Wyatt's intention to take advantage of the growth by establishing stage line connecting to the outside world, not served by the railroad he discovered. Okay, you guys, I'm going to tell you where you can go back and find the rest of this story. And if you type it in, Google it, it will come up. "40 Facts About Wyatt Earp." And I'm hoping all of y'all are enjoying this, and I'm hoping that you'll put your opinions and thoughts in here, and how many of you really are there any of you that are Wyatt Earp fans? I'd love to know. Anyway, I thank you all so much for tuning in and joining me this evening. And this story came from collection.com, and you can go over to there. 40 Facts About the Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp. And I mean, it goes on and on and on. But this was my condensed version of it to bring you guys something special on this very Sunday evening. And I just want to send hugs, loves, and kisses to all of you until my next story. Stories with Anita. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful week. God bless each and every one of you. And much love to all of you.